but not here in Ohio.
I was told the pipes at my house froze at one point.
Oh.
Yeah, the owners went to Florida for a few weeks or something, and
I remember spending a year in Korea when it snowed sideways 3 feet overnight and not down. The snow went sideways.
wow.
Okay. No, go. Now I'm bye.
A lot of snow.
Yeah.
Hello, Linda.
Hi, I had trouble logging on for some reason.
No.
Now I'm here, so,
I think we all did in there, believe me.
okay. It's been a long day.
Can you guys hear? Can you
Michelle,
guys
are
hear me?
we-
This is Gene Arders.
Hi,
We can hear
Jean.
you.
I apologize not to be on the Zoom. I had to call in. I had to drive over to my mother-in-law's house. She can't get in her driveway.
Oh,
That sounds like you should get out with a shovel.
I just gonna put a heavy foot on the gas pedal on her car, I think.
Yeah.
are we live streaming yet, Michelle?
Yes, you're all set.
Okay. Okay, I'd like to call this special council meeting to order on December 1st at 6 PM. Jenny, roll call, please.
Ben,
Yes,
Tammy,
Here.
Paula,
Here.
Matt,
Sure.
Scott,
Here.
Marty.
here.
Okay, the first thing on the agenda is employee medical coverage renewal options. Has everybody looked at them?
Yes.
Yes,
Any recommendations?
Aetna.
You mean Anthem?
Yeah, Anthem.
Yeah. That, to me,
That
that
seems to be the best, and they're good. I've had them before.
well, Debbie Boop said that they're being very, very aggressive in their rates because they want to try to get some business. So it's quite a big savings if we go that route. And they said that the the doctors and hospitals are all pretty much the same as what we have right now.
About prescriptions, because my husband's getting dinged on his insurance. They switched and none of his prescriptions are covered.
Mary Ann, we have it personally, and we have very expensive prescriptions, and it goes through Express Scripts or specialty pharmacy, and it's amazing.
All right.
So
That was going to be my question, is about Express Scripts, Tammy, because that's all your maintenance meds. That's what we're on now.
yeah, and I don't have any problem with them.
I don't either.
Yeah, and I'm using them and have been for a number of years. And no problems.
And just to get in a little thing, if you need specialty meds, it goes over to Accredo, and we have a home nurse that takes care of my husband through that all, and it's all taken care of, and it's really good. So I can't say enough good things about the Anthem program.
I've had Anthem a few years, and they're good to go.
Yep, that's what we have now. We have Express Scripts too. I don't have any experience with it, but that's what we use.
You're still young.
I knew he's broken.
No, the check engine light's on, man. The check engine light's
Brenda,
on.
you're about as young as I am.
All we do is turn the radio up.
Any other discussion?
No,
Mary Ann, when I'm looking at this, I don't think you have a copy of it. It says the drug copay is $15.45 and 80, 25% up to $350.
Okay, yeah, I don't have a copy. Thank you.
And your annual premium for you would be, if we went with the Anthem, is $1,014.35 for family plan.
Okay. Thank you.
Uh-huh. Am I the one with the TV in the background?
We're not, turn it down.
My husband let me come home tonight. He wasn't supposed to be here. He was supposed to be down hunting, but he postponed it today because of the snow. Okay, so could we have a motion to use the Anthem Blue Shield, I guess Anthem Blue Access?
So moved.
Second,
Marty,
Yes.
Ben,
Yes.
Scott,
Yes.
Paula,
Yes,
Matt,
Yes.
Tammy.
yes.
Thank you. Okay, moving on to the appropriations. Jenny, I have one question on your recommendation, page 1 under parks. It says water and sewer, increase, decrease. It had $2,000. You said new amount is $200.
Oh, that needs to go up to uniforms. That goes up.
Okay. So it's a typo then.
Yeah.
Okay. And then medical benefits for the clerk treasurer was $2,000 and it's increasing to 17,000.
Well, that'll drop back down now that we're going with Anthem.
Okay.
so will there be other coming, medical coverage issues coming down also?
Yeah, I think all of them will.
All of them? Okay.
Yeah, I'll probably have to calculate them out because we also have Guardian, which is our dental, vision, and life. So what I'll do is I'll get the new totals and send them out to everybody.
Now, the only reason it caught my eye, Jenny, is because, I mean, from 2,000 to 17,000 was a $15,000 increase for your medical benefits. That's
No,
why I thought it was a typo.
No, the increase was 2,000. Like if you look at the top of that column, that's the amount of the increase or decrease.
Okay, and then, so it increased from 15 to 17 then?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, sorry, I read that wrong. Okay, moving along. Anybody have any questions on page 1? And that's what my print off shows. Security persons and property, 1000-110, that page.
I got a couple of questions. Chief, are you here?
He's here.
Yes.
You are. Good. Chief, have you got any issues with this budget?
Somebody's got scuttlebutt. I can't, and you got to repeat your question.
I'm sorry, Chief. I'm just asking if you got any issues with the budget.
No,
Village Administrator, Mr. True, have you got any issues? Mr. True, are you still here with us?
Yes, I'm still with you. No, I think it's okay now. I've looked at it
Okay,
again.
that's fine. Jenny, you got any problems?
Well, overall, the general fund is spending about 50 some thousand more than what's coming in. So we have carryovers that are going to cover us for now, but we're going to have to address that. You know,
That means for next year, when we do the 2022 budget, someone's going to have to tighten the belt.
yeah, we're going to have to make some changes.
Yep. And then we can do that. And we do that every year. And that's going to have to be done because it's against the law to go into the red. And that's fine. If the chief and the village administrator doesn't have a problem, and Jenny doesn't have a problem with this year's budget, I got no problem with it.
Well, I
Well, I
do.
What? You reckon?
I have questions. Chief, you're fine with your page?
Yeah, some of this, I think I'm gonna be able to drop down, working on some things. So these would be worst case scenarios, but I think that I'll be able to come in under that budget.
Good, because you got a lot of COVID money for wages and benefits.
Yeah, unfortunately, I don't think that gets to carry over to the next year. Is that correct, Jenny? It goes back into general fund.
Unless they do an extension, but yeah,
So yeah, Ben, I'm saving it this year and
Good.
with the last couple of
Good.
pays of this year, but that'll go back into general fund, but I don't get to carry that over to the next budget.
That's good. That's good. Just as long as you're saving some money.
I'm doing my best.
I appreciate that, Chief. You're a good man.
Thank you. Yep, we don't waste.
Okay, if everybody go to page 2 under cemetery expenses. And am I missing it because it doesn't show the water bill we're gonna have to pay this year? Or is it on another page?
that's on page 7.
Wasn't there a $3,000 number somewhere?
Yeah,
Line 50, check out line 50, it's $2,000.
yeah.
Which page?
Page 7. It's $975.
Yep. Tell them not to use so much water down there.
Let me find it because my pages aren't jiving. I printed off what Michelle had sent.
Well, the top of the page says State Highway below that.
Thank you.
It's under 2031, Mayor.
Yep.
Thank you. Okay, that's my page 11. Okay, I see it there now. Thank you. And back to my page 2, which is parks. Is that going to be enough water for the park? And when I'm asking about the park, that would include the lodge. It would include the ball fields. Once we get the lodge open.
Well, it's only open on the weekends. And it's just a couple of toilet flushes and a little bit of dishwashing probably. As far as the ball fields, I don't know.
Will they all be on the same meter?
No,
They'll all have separate meters? Does that mean
Yes.
that as they'll have the minimum charge as well as the surcharge on each of those meters?
the way that should work, Paula, is for the lodge, it would be water and sewer for the minimum bill of $65 and the surcharge. The ball fields would be, we gave the county an itemized list that we thought that the ball fields would have running water from like March to October. So we would pay the minimum those months and the surcharge from.
And the surcharge.
So the water, because there'd only be water and not sewer, let's just, I don't have an exact figure in front of me, would be half of that $65 and half of the $60 for, you'd only be paying a surcharge on the water, not water and sewer, because we don't have sewer for that. So let's say April, May, June.
Can't we have it shut off for those other months?
We can shut it off, but you still have to pay the surcharge, whether it's on or not. So you
Okay,
still
and
have that $30 charge 12 months a year.
so we're still gonna run into, going back to the cemetery water. There's probably, is 2,000 gonna cover that if you're looking at $120? A month.
Cemetery, well, wait, let's finish the park first, Paula, because,
Well, it's the same thought, though. Yeah.
correct.
Okay,
Cemetery should just be water only.
Correct. And the ball fields will be water only.
mhm.
So that bill, let's just say the bill for the 6 months for each of the ball fields would be 60 and 60 a month. So that's 120 times 6.
And will each, you said for each of the ball fields, does that mean that the water supply at each of the fields is on a separate meter?
Correct.
Really? I mean, this is something that I know they've always said that council is we're going to have to be paying more for our water because we weren't paying anything in the past. But all of a sudden, yeah, our whole appropriation, I don't think we've taken any of that into consideration. So we need to know the number of meters that are being applied. And Jenny, this may have to, from the water and sewer perspective, need to be recomputed. Do they have when are they going to be installing the meters at each of those sites? Like each of those?
As soon as we're not under the COVID red alert. There should be there will be 4 meters down at the park. 1 for the lodge, 1 for the softball field, 1 for the baseball field. And the 4th one will be for the potato festival.
And will that potato festival one be for the pump house? Or will it be covering all the spigots that are throughout the meadow?
It's going to be for the pump house and for the water that they use in Katie's Meadows.
I didn't even think we had water to the pump house.
There's an outside spigot on the east side of the building.
There is.
Yeah, there is.
We'll also have a surcharge on that one.
But
12 months out of the year, right?
I'm sorry?
So 12 months out of the year, that will also have the surcharge?
Correct.
And the minimum charge. So.
No,
Go ahead.
What you do is for when you're using the water, we would pay for the water those months. 500 cubic feet for 6 months, a month.
How much a cubic foot?
Okay. For 500 cubic feet of water and sewer is $65 a month.
Most people don't even use 500 cubic feet in those places down there.
That's all done and gone. So
I'm just telling you, I voted no for that, if you remember.
I certainly do.
I don't agree with you.
Well, and that's fine, but it is what it is now because the voters elected to go this route.
No, the voters didn't. There was just 4 people on council that did. Three council people and you. They want the voters.
It went to
I
the
just
ballot,
disagree
Ben.
with you.
Put on the ballot, Ben.
I disagree with you too, Marty.
Okay, but let's move on. And
Okay.
I think one of the things we're going to have, because we've never had the meters any place. We need a list of where those meters are going to be placed. And then sit back and look at calculating a price. Because we don't know.
Yeah, we know. It's going to be.
We don't know where those meters are.
Surcharge.
Paula,
why does each ball field need its own meter?
I'm sorry?
Why does each ball field need its own meter?
Because they each had a lateral when they shut the water off at the fields, they shut off the north side and they shut off the south side.
Okay, and the lateral is what gets the meter. Okay, gotcha. Okay,
Dave gave me a list. And I have it on my computer, which is I'm not using right now. So Paul, so let me explain it very quickly if I'm not interrupted again. So we'll have, let's say the ball fields, we have water to them 6 months a year. For water and sewer, it's 65. So let's say it's half of that. Okay, it's $30. So $30 times 6 would be that. And then the surcharge, if the surcharge is $60, so it's going to be 60, it's going to be $30 for 12 months.
Right. For all 4 meters is $14.40.
Thank you, Paul. And we only really need to do 3 because Potato Festival is going to have to pay their own water when we do their new contract. And we're going to be discussing that at service.
So if the ball fields are 1440, then how much do we need for the lodge? Because that's year round water and sewer.
So you
That
would need,
would be
so you'd need 125, because I'm sure they're not going to use 500 cubic feet in the lodge.
They're
So
gonna get charged for it.
So about 1500.
Yeah, 125 times 12.
makes me wonder what the project cost would be to tie both ball fields to one lateral over the long run.
Should have thought about that before you voted yes, mister.
So we're looking at over $3,000 for the park for water and sewer.
But make sure you take out, because we would only be responsible for 3 meters. The
Right.
Potato Festival, if they renew their contract,
If they renew their contract, but otherwise we have them.
well, then we wouldn't need the water there. Then we could take out all those lines and all those poles.
You're still gonna pay that minimum charge of 500 cubic meters per month. And the surcharge.
Not if there's no water there.
That ain't the way that thing reads.
So under parks, do you want to change the water budget to 3,000 then?
That's what I would recommend, Jenny, right now.
I agree for right now.
We can always adjust it through the year as we always do every year.
Yeah, but we're already over our revenue.
I agree, Jenny. I agree.
And
I agree.
Okay, moving on.
I got one more quick question about the parks. When's that truck paid off?
I think we have 2 more years, but I'll
Okay.
double check. December 2023.
Cool, thank you.
So that's 3 years.
3 years.
Sorry, I'm going back to 2023. 2031, I mean.
You're going back to the cemetery, you're saying the water?
No, well, cemetery. We're gonna have to make sure we have water for that, and Jenny has the 975 for that. That should cover that. I wanted to get over to My page starts with permissive on the top.
Page 8 on ours.
I'm showing page 13, so.
I have page 8.
Boy, I think from now on, Jenny, you're gonna have to print these out so we all are on the same page.
I did print them out.
Yes, she did.
Yeah, they're all in your mailboxes. I sent an email.
I went and got mine.
Oops.
Well, I printed mine off of what Michelle sent today.
Yeah,
that-
so that's probably including the agenda and the insurance page and
Right.
my comments, but the actual budget working papers, it should say page 8 at the bottom.
Mhm.
Okay, well, again, I don't have that one with me. So I was questioning on Bookert Park Phase 2. We have no money appropriated there. Am I missing that?
Right. I don't know why mine says 387. I think that's the West Prospect total.
Yes, yes, it is.
Yeah, cross that off. But no, we didn't have anything appropriated. I thought that trail was going to be done this year. But
Well, we still have about $25,000 that we need to use up. If we turn it back, then the match is going to go up.
well, if
Not
we're
only
going
that,
to have to
budget-
The more
advance,
your match is. So are we gonna be able to come up with the $25,000 to finish this project?
well, we'll have to advance it from the general fund.
All right.
Advance or to transfer it.
Advance.
That
Advance.
would be-
Is
yeah.
let me get this straight. I always forget this. I thought advance you didn't pay back and transferred you paid back.
Just the opposite.
Ah, all right. All right. Fine. I get it wrong.
Okay,
They'll never be able to pay that back out of that fund.
Ben, the
I-
grant was for
That's
$43,000.
fine. That's fine, Mayor. That's fine. We'll deal with it when it comes up. Like we always do.
Well, it's not like loaning it to the water and sewer. It's a grant. The grant was for 43,000. We've only spent 19 of it, so we've got to use the rest of the money. Jenny has certified that the funds were there. We'll pay it up front. We submit it to the Nature Works or RTP, whichever one it was. I don't remember at the top of my head.
That's fine.
And
That's
then we
fine.
get our percentage
I've
back.
got no problem with what you're saying there.
Then why are you so argumentative?
Because I can be. I can be as argumentative if I want to be.
Okay, so do we need to add $25,000 into 4201, Jenny, then to cover that?
We'll have to, yes, and we'll also have to add it to the general fund to be able to advance it out.
Okay. And then everybody draw a line through where it says total Booker Park expenses $387,000. That goes on West Prospect. Phase 2. So that's going to be 4204, correct, Jenny?
Yes.
And you have it over there, so already.
Yes.
Okay. The only other thing I'm concerned about, because our budget is so tight, and I want everybody to be thinking about this, is we had voted, or council had voted, for phase 3 of Bookert Park. And if I recall, that's, John, that's about $87,000, correct?
Correct, Mayor.
TP grant. That has not been awarded yet. It won't be awarded until sometime in January. And then the funds wouldn't be available till summer. We're gonna have to decide, and Jenny's gonna need to look and see if we're gonna even have the money, even with DMRC paying the match, if we can certify that we have the funds to do that. So that's something we'll have to address once we find out if we even got the grant. But please don't anybody forget that when we're checking things. And that's the only thing I have. So Jenny, can you go over real quick what the changes are that you're making? I didn't have a chance to write them down when I was flipping through all my pages.
We're gonna reduce the medical all over the place, you know, I'll give you new totals for that.
Okay,
The parks, we're gonna change to 3,000 for water. General fund, we're gonna advance out 25,000. Bookert Park, we're gonna increase 25,000. And what was the last one you just said? Oh,
Phase
phase
three?
3, but we're not doing anything with that yet.
no, I just wanted everybody to remember that we had passed legislation for that. And normally we would have gotten an answer whether or not we received it. But because of the COVID, it's been pushed back. So, okay, so
I have-
just those 4 things then.
I had one question on the revenues. I noticed in the Akron Beacon Journal over the weekend, that the state has said license plates don't have to be renewed until June. And the same thing with the driver's license. So how does that impact? Because Jenny, haven't you said that we are down in those areas already this year?
Yes, we're down. I think close to 50,000 now.
And yeah, and that's for when the state collects these, how are they gonna handle that? Are they gonna double charge people? I'm sorry.
Yeah, I wondered that too, if eventually they're gonna play catch up or if there's just gonna be a forgiveness. But then
Yeah.
how do you do that when a lot of people have gone forward?
Right.
And a lot of the villages and cities and so on are counting on that money. So I just wanted to raise that issue, that although we're showing like license tax, $85,000 expected, but in the streets area, who knows what we're gonna end up with there?
Right.
Right. I do know that, because I know people and I myself have renewed our vehicles through the mail.
Mhm.
And I had mailed it in over 2 weeks ago. And the check hasn't even cleared yet. So I wonder, Mike and June Zemesnik did theirs 2 months ago, still haven't got their stickers. So,
Yeah.
I mean, they're either really backlogged. I mean, they're not in the village, but I think they must be backlogged, and hopefully we will be getting catch up at some point.
Yeah.
And Jenny, I had a question on revenues. The municipal income taxes, are we being too generous on that with with people being out of work this year? You know, are we gonna be able to
Possibly.
collect that much?
It's possible. I don't have a number for you for where we are right now, but I think right now we're a little bit behind in employer withholding, but we're ahead on some of the other collections. So it's almost balanced out, but next year, I don't know. I mean, we could play it safe and drop that down a little bit. We're already in the negative.
From all those letters, Jenny, that they sent out, and I realized that the majority of them were not village residents, but anybody that was a village resident, have they caught up? Did they send you a report that tells you that?
Well, they don't send me a report, but I can log on and look, and yes, they have.
Okay. So that has helped some then too, since we got some people that were missing.
And then Mayor, is there any talk of us getting any more COVID funds that like we can pay for police officers and things like that, that would help that budget?
I have not heard anything yet.
Okay.
I wouldn't be surprised if we do get more.
Okay. Because that would certainly help, we could use it, right?
Yes.
Well, we used all but $435 of that other money.
I'm just concerned about the income taxes with people being out of work.
Yeah.
Are we going to be able to collect that much? I don't know.
No way. of
This is-
knowing.
Yeah,
If it holds true, they're saying the uptick we're seeing in the cases right now is because of the Halloween parties. So with Thanksgiving, that in spike's probably going to hit about Christmas time. And then with the Christmas gatherings, that it's probably going to be at the end of January. So I just see a 30-day delay in everything. So my guess is we're going to be into this till probably at least January, February. If the pattern holds true to what they're saying.
It will.
Our individual income taxes are okay. It's the employer's withholding that's dropped down. And we're going to have, the new butcher shop. There's going to be a few things opening that'll add a little bit of withholding tax there.
And if the dollar store, everything goes through with that, that's going to be income tax for the village too, if that goes through.
and we can't count on any of that money. I mean,
No.
yeah.
Well, what would somebody recommend reducing that up to?
Motion to make the adjustments that have been talked about. Jenny's got them all. You got them, Jenny?
Yeah, but we'll probably do that at the next council meeting.
That's
Like
fine.
I'll send you an amended version with all the changes and then you can
That's fine.
motion
That's
to
good
amend
enough.
it then.
That's good enough. Just as long as we have enough time, we got to pass it as emergency, I reckon.
Yes.
Okay, that's fine. That's good. That's good.
Tammy-
As long as we get it done.
Tammy, Paula, you want to make a recommendation to reduce our income tax totals to bring that down, or what do you
You can
want?
see that in 2019, it was at close to 685.
Right.
So, even though there are people out of work, we're counting on Rita pulling in some extra money that we didn't get. So, I mean, I'd be okay with leaving it.
Okay,
I think it's just we need to be mindful of it.
Yeah,
Yes,
we'll have to keep an
absolutely.
eye on it.
We got to be mindful of it. We got no choice.
okay. Anybody have any other discussion on this? Any other changes that they think that we might need to add, or?
I just have a quick question about Jenny's recommendations. At the bottom here under miscellaneous, 48,000 reduced to the amount for 4905, which is the, I just lost your capital improvements.
Yeah, every month we transfer $1,000. That was from an old income tax overpayment. That was St. Gobain, and they overpaid their taxes by over $100,000. And instead of us paying it back, they said, put that money towards the village. At that time, council chose to put it towards street improvements. So that's pretty broad, and council can change that too if they wanted. But that's what we were appropriating a lot more for transfers out because we were having to bail out the sewer fund and things like that now and then cemetery, so that's why it was up so high, but we don't need to do that. So that's why it's dropped down to we dropped down 48,000. So it's now 12,000. But we're going to advance out of 25 and bump it back up some.
Gonna have to.
Matt, 4905 is the fund that we were going to use to pay for Orchard Street, to certify that we had the funds.
Okay,
And we used street levy money instead.
No, we used the 12, with the amount we were supposed to, we did use for the 4905.
But you just took 30-some thousand dollars out of street levy to pay the vendor,
But that comes back.
right? But it was all, we weren't supposed to use any street. We'll discuss that at another time. Any
Yeah,
other
it's all going to
questions?
get paid back, so it won't be used.
Right. Any other questions? A motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second.
Tammy,
Yes.
Paula,
Yes.
Marty,
Yes.
Scott,
Yes.
Matt,
yes.
Ben.
Yes. You guys have a good evening. Take care of yourself and be safe.
You too.
You too.
Take care.
Hey, Ben, did you get my email before you sign off
About
about safety for tomorrow? Am I the only one that's having email issues?
I don't think I got it. I looked about an hour or so ago. We're having a
Okay.
safety meeting tomorrow.
Well, I sent out an email yesterday to the
Right.
mayor and the safety committee that I only have one issue. I need one thing passed and the funds are available. We don't have to have a meeting if you and the mayor sign off on a purchase rec for my radios.
I'll sign off on that. Let me ask you a question that's important. Are you taking care of all the mean baddies?
The who?
Mean baddies. And Linda, you taking care of Linda and the mean baddies, the mean people out there.
I'm taking care of everybody. We're trying to make everybody happy.
Well,
It's an ongoing issue.
I got no problem then. We don't need a meeting if we ain't got no issue.
Okay, because I had sent it out and I just said reply back and I would let everybody know this morning, but
I
Nobody,
looked and I didn't see it. I looked this afternoon and I didn't see it, Mayor, Chief.
Paula, did you get it?
I got it. I didn't reply. I was kind of waiting to see what was going on with
Okay.
reply.
Well,
But
I'm just having I'm having an email issue apparently, so I just wanted,
got it.
I didn't, okay.
Chief, as long as you're taking care of the mean baddies and taking care of Linda, she's a nice person. I like her. I'm
Okay.
happy.
Okay. No safety then tomorrow.
Good.
We're
That's
canceling
fine.
it.
Ain't no sense in having a meeting if you don't need one.
Nope. And Ben, when you get a chance, stop down. I just need your signature and the mayor, I'll get hers whenever I get a hold of her when she pops in. So I'll just need 2 signatures.
I'll stop by tomorrow.
Okay, thank you.
Hey, that new person you got there wouldn't let me in the front door. I had to go around to the side door.
Correct, because they don't know you. Their rule is if they don't know who it is, they don't let them in. I apologize.
That's all right. I
if-
just want to know the reason. That's fine.
Well, just so
Tell her
everybody
who I
knows,
am.
yeah, when you buzz in, if you have a ball cap or something on that camera, if there's a shadow,
I mean, I got
their
the
rule is
cap
if
off
they
so
don't
everyone
recognize
can
you, you got to come around.
see my dirty hair or something.
Well,
I'm just teasing.
Yeah.
Chief.
yeah, it's an inconvenience, but they're doing what they're trained.
That's fine. If you're training them, that's what they're supposed
Yeah,
to do. They're
I
doing
don't want
the
anybody in
job.
there unless they're 100% sure we know who it is.
That's fine. I got no problem with that.
Next time, just play the "Don't you know who I am" card.
We've had that before. When Dave Saluka went in one time, he was in a suit and they thought that we were getting served with some kind of papers because nobody saw him in a suit before. I always tell them though, Matt, if there's a dirt bike out there and a guy in a helmet, we know who that is.
That's good.
Thanks.
Chief. if they're doing what you're telling them to do, that's fine. I'm happy.
Yep, that's the
I'll come
directive
by
they're given.
tomorrow. I'll be by tomorrow sometime.
Okay, thanks.
All right, good night, everybody.
Good
Good
night.
night.
Good night.
Have a good one. Where's all this?
Mayor, do you need me for service for anything?
Nope.
Okay, if anybody doesn't need anything, I'm gonna go ahead and sign off. Other than that, be safe.
Oh, wait. Sorry. Are you gonna be in tomorrow?
No. Yeah, I will be. I'm
We
off
need to have
tomorrow,
a
but I
meet-
will be in.
yeah, we need to have a meeting about that guy up on, Reservoir.
Okay, you let me know what time and I'll be there.
Okay. Thank
Just-
you.
Okay, you're welcome.
Good night, Joe.
Good night.
Good night.
Thank you.
Hey, chief.
Okay, can I call this meeting to order, Linda?
Sure.
6:46. Who do we have? Oh, Mary Ann's still here. Roll call, Mary Ann.
Scott Weaver,
Here.
Paul Tubacan,
Here.
Matt Rosalowski,
Here.
Do we have any citizens out there, Michelle?
No, there's nobody. Thanks.
Okay, great. Can I have a motion to approve the minutes for October?
I have a question. Under new business, Canada Road repairs,
Mhm.
close to the bottom, it says Dave asked about the culvert, but that will not happen until spring. Dave wasn't at the meeting. Was that Matt or Scott that asked?
I think I did. I think I asked John, as a matter of fact.
Okay, so,
I think that's correct.
okay, so that should be corrected then to Scott.
Yes.
Okay. And I'm assuming, of course, it's bad to assume, that under the COVID-19 state funds, when it says FD request, that we're talking about the Manaway Shaylorsville Fire Department.
Yeah.
Correct.
It's another acronym. Okay.
Anything else?
Not for me. Make a motion to approve.
As corrected.
As amended.
As corrected.
Okay.
I'll
So moved.
second.
All ayes?
Aye.
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 Okay, moving on. Village Administrators Report. John, do you have anything for us?
Yeah, briefly, I've been working with Tia, walking the streets and trying to get all the meters and everything else, get that list done, so then Gene and I can review that, so that's what I've been working on the most lately, even working till 8 or 9 at night sometimes, her and I, might have seen us
So-
walking around.
So Tia, walking the streets with Tia to get the list done, what kind of list description do you want that to have?
That is for the units, the building units. If it's 3 apartments, 3 units, that type,
I know, I just have to make sure it's understood in the minutes.
no problem.
Okay,
Then today we had bid openings and they came back pretty good. We're waiting for the final results, but it looked to be under budget right now. And we had 13 bidders, which was very significant and very positive for us. We bid it now and
13 bidders for Prospect?
correct. They've been
Wow.
I think 13 or 14.
I thought it was 15 and there were 17 that submitted, but I could be wrong.
Could be. I don't have it in front of me. That's.
It was
that's-
15.
God, that's
15?
fantastic.
Okay, good. Came in under budget, so that's where we're at with that. We're leading, CT will review those for all mathematical corrections or not, and we'll go from there.
Just
Wow.
out of curiosity, are you familiar with all the people that submitted a bid, or are there some newcomers there?
Most of them I was very familiar with, some very favorable.
Yeah.
They're area players, and some of them are usually bigger contractors that actually bid on this project. They used to do million or multi-million dollar, they bid, which was good for us.
Yeah.
Oh, good, good, good. So when
All I have for now.
CT will just work on that for a couple months and then award it, or a month, or,
They'll have it ready before council meeting.
oh,
Take a
okay.
couple days to review the bid, check the mathematics and everything, make it all correct to make sure nothing really stands out in that low bidder that they missed or, sufficiently underscored something. They'll make sure of all that details. Also call the rep.
The bid packet said that whoever is awarded the contract has to start by March 15th.
Okay. All right. All right, a review of any legislation.
We got none.
What's that?
We have none.
We have none. I know, that's nice. Okay, new business, meter replacement to start of October. We're still waiting to hear, right?
Well, yeah, because
Still we're out of the,
we still have like 100 that they installed, a little over 100.
yeah. And we're just gonna wait until we get the all clear. Is that the idea?
Yeah, we have a meeting with the county tomorrow. John, have you spoken to Ray? I think the county will take over the whole thing on that. I'm not certain. We'll find out tomorrow.
I believe they're gonna have to. Ray has no communication with us as of most recent at all because of the COVID.
Yeah. Okay. Well, that's understandable, I guess. All right, Canada, so you'll let us know on that, Mayor. You think the county will just take over that, though?
Yeah, well, because they're gonna take over, because they will receive any of our leftover revenues that we have in water and sewer. And we had taken out the loan for the meters, and Jenny's been paying it, I think, quarterly. She's been having to pay it down. So they'll finish paying that off with the funds that we have. And so they're gonna take over they'll probably take over Reservoir too. So all of that stuff.
Okay.
We're still working on all the details.
Yep, sure you are.
Crazy.
Big job. All right, the Canada Road repairs.
I
What
know
did we-
last month we said do a bid packet.
Yeah,
So do you want John to do a bid packet to do the whole 3,200 feet? Which would be about $80,000.
Jenny told us we had the funds, right? I mean, she was able to,
Yes.
I'm cool as long as we have the money.
yeah, I am too, as long as we have the money, but
Yeah, as long as, but just,
Yeah. I'm
After
concerned that
getting-
we need, that we need to. That's why I wanted to throw it out. Do you want to just, I know I'd like to get that road done and get it behind us. But
and
to make sure we stay whole, should we just do 40,000 and not have to bid it out? I don't know. That's a decision for you guys to make.
What do you think, Paula?
well, what still bothers me is we're letting, Todd Lamb is starting at an end that doesn't have any residents on it. And yes, we all use the whole road, but the whole road is falling apart. And 1600 goes from about from the bridge, from the culverts
To Jenny's.
on the east end to just around Engelhardt,
Yeah, by Jenny's. Jenny's in Engelhart,
just
yeah.
past, yeah, just in that vicinity. Which sort
I
of
don't
takes
have a
in one
problem
or
doing-
two.
Pardon me?
It takes in one, maybe two residents.
Right.
Yeah.
Should we wait maybe until February to do a bid packet? At that point, we would have been reimbursed the road levy money from the grant, the ODOT grant for Orchard Street. We'll have kind of an idea on where our taxes are at, and that would still give us time to get a bid out, wouldn't it, John?
Yeah, if it's February, that's still early enough for a road project, especially if we're just doing a mill and fill and, simple packet where we're not, the drainage done ahead of time, so that's good.
Right.
Do you
Yeah,
think
we
we
have
lose?
time.
Oh, I'm sorry, John. I thought you were done speaking. Do you think we lose any value by waiting until February as opposed to doing it now since it's, closer to spring?
No, I don't think with road project, as long as you're February or April, you're okay. With a
Okay.
small project like that, because there's only a few contractors in the area that are touched that. It's
Yeah,
kind of a
sure.
small contract.
And the lead time on that after the bid's received shouldn't be long then, right? It's not like we have to wait 4 months or something like that in order for it to get done.
Well, you can't go till the asphalt plant's open, which will be probably late April, early May.
Okay. All
Asphalt
right, good.
plant's open.
Sure. Makes sense.
So come January, we need to,
Well, I think maybe, January may be a little optimistic. We may have to wait till February.
no. I mean,
Oh,
in January, we need to pin down Jenny and we need to make sure that the funds are going to be there for 32.
Well, that's what I was
Because
saying.
it's ridiculous to do 16 if we can do the 32. But
It is. Yeah.
That's
But
kind
it's-
of agreement.
I kind of felt like she was, when we talked about this the last time, or when we talked about it with her, I felt like, well, yeah, I think I didn't feel confident that she was confident that we had the money.
Yeah.
Maybe I read it wrong, but I just didn't, I don't know.
We'll have to-
I want to see it I want to see it in writing, like after the budget's done and, we're squared away with everything we did. We need to,
After we got the income tax stuff done, we
Yeah.
have the sewer transferred out and closed off. And then we can begin to look at, and the orchard money in,
right,
then reassessing it.
right.
But I think January, for her to give us service, report, it's probably not going to be that soon. I think we need to put it off to February,
Okay.
but keep it on the table.
All right.
Yeah,
Then we
let's
can-
not forget it.
Yeah,
Well, we need to do this, so I don't think any of us are going to forget it. I just, but we can have her work out the numbers and we can still get together with a bid package in February. I mean, we can do them both February, correct?
Right,
Shouldn't
yeah,
be a problem.
right. And she had reworked it and stuff, and she did feel pretty confident, but I'm just want to be cautious
Oh, I do
of
too.
our funds at this
Yep.
point.
Yeah,
I
we're
mean,
gonna,
I was surprised when we took money out of the road levy to pay for Orchard. I thought we would have taken it out of 4905 because there was almost enough money there to do it. And we have to be very cautious on when we certify funds for reimbursable grants. We are certifying that we have the total amount, not just the match, to
right,
pay it up front. This was a case where normally our vendor, contractor, whatever, submits bills as he goes along. So that you get $10,000, Jenny pays it, checks come back, she sends it to the state. And so we've been very lucky that we've been paying Peter to
robbing Peter to pay Paul.
Paul kind of thing.
Yeah,
This
Right.
was the vendor who didn't take any money until the very end and wanted his full payment in one shot.
Sure.
And we hadn't certified all of the money. We only certified what was it, the 19,000 that we got from
For the match.
Susan and the 12,000 from the village. So, I mean, that was only, what, 31,000 of it? So,
Okay.
so that's what happened there. But still, it was not supposed to come out of road levy money. It was supposed to come out of St. Cobain 4905.
Okay.
And so that's why I'm just really being cautious now that the street levy money has
Sure.
come down. I know it's going to come back, but
Well, let's wait until it's back. I mean,
right.
you're right. And like Paula said, we can wait until February and hash out the numbers then. And
Right,
Yeah.
absolutely.
okay. All right. Well, then let's do that. Let's
Okay.
come February, we'll figure it all out.
Okie
I'm on
dokie.
board with that.
Paula, you good with that?
Yes.
Okay. Okay. Dan Tillett, East Restoration, State Bond Government Funding, and CDBG funding. See attachment. Did everybody copy that?
What this was is, the East Side project that Dan wanted to do
Mhm.
was in two steps. One was 180 some, and the other one, it was like 350, 360,000 total, but he was going to do it in two steps. So back in August, I reached out to Senator Eklund's office to check on state bond funding. And I'm pretty sure that we talked about this at one of our
We did.
meetings.
Yep.
And so we can't do anything till January when the new person comes in, and what was his name, Serrano? Who is taking his place.
Serrano's correct.
So we'll have to contact him. So I had copied Dan on this, and also I had copied Todd Pete so that they knew where we were going. And then middle of November, I get this email from Todd that tells me that Edie Benner had contacted him and what was the status of the funding for this project. And so she wanted to know about CDBG funds. And so also in your attachment is the criteria that needs to be met to do a CDBG that they need as soon as possible. Again, when I read the DMRC's minutes, they have him on their agenda, but they say that this is not a DMRC project. And I thought it was Dan and the Village Tavern and Jim Mockney's building that who we would be dealing with when the time came. So
Yeah, I
now
was gonna real quick. I'm sorry. I was gonna ask, where are we talking about here?
the east side of Main Street where the meat market is,
Yeah, yeah. Okay. Oh, just
where
okay.
they want to do the nice brick patio kind of thing in front. With
Yeah,
the railing and different things.
Yeah, it just said east on it. I'm like, what east? Okay, I'm with you
East
now.
side of the street.
Yeah.
So, I guess because they're gonna both be due at the same time. I have not had any contact from Dan Tillett. I mean, he knows somebody can reach out to him. But am I reaching out to Dan Tillett? Am I reaching out to DMRC and Dan Tillett? I mean, I don't know.
I believe you should be reaching out to Dan Tillett.
I do too, because I thought when he came to our meeting, he made that clear.
Mhm.
When he came to service, I thought
No, maybe planning.
or planning. He came, yeah, I'm sorry. He came to service when he was supposed to come to planning. So then he came back to planning.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, that's
and
what
I
I
thought-
thought. I thought maybe somebody knew more than I know about this. I will still reach out. I mean, I feel that to keep our cost as low as possible as far as, and to help Dan also, and the businesses, is we have our TA hours,
Hmm.
technical assistance hours,
Right.
Mary Ann, and we get so many a year. And so we have, and I'm just throwing this out there, I think it's a little more, around 50 hours. So they can do the grant, they have a grant writer, so they could do the grant for either one of these or both of these to see which one would go. CDBG funding is usually a zero match, but they would have to have confirmation, as you can see in the attachment from Lisa Reeves at Regional Planning of all the things that she would need, and figure out how we want to go about this. I mean, I was hoping I had until at least January to think about it, so I can concentrate on getting everything done with the water and sewer that we have to, but if I've got to put something else on my plate, then I'll do so.
Well, I think before anything happens, you need to contact Dan.
Okay.
I mean,
And then-
somebody needs to contact Dan, you know?
And I have two questions / concerns. It says here, just reading through this, that in order to take advantage of this, we need to pass the resolution calling it a blight. Does that give us any kind of like black mark if we pass a resolution saying that something in our village is a blight?
No, we've applied for blight grants before.
Okay.
We
Next
used a
part.
blight grant when we had done Orchard Street. Well, moderate or low income and blight.
Okay.
It's just that CDBG funding, let me see here. I think I got my papers out of order. State bond fund. If I recall, I don't think the ceiling on CDBG, it looks like would be $250,000, so.
Right.
And if I recall, they were gonna do it in 2 parts anyhow.
Yeah.
One part 1 year, one part of next year, however. So I will set up a meeting with him and see exactly what he wants, and because there's gonna be, things he's gonna, us, it's gonna be legislation to do it. And he's gonna have to be on board with his the owners.
Right.
The last sentence says, the application doesn't specify how much each building owner would need to commit. But it's better when they do show that, so we all know that for sure Village Tavern is very tight for them right now because of the COVID. I mean, Dan's is gonna be a new business. Jim Mockney just got a new business in his too, so. So I'll sit with Dan, and Matt, if you're available to sit in on the meeting, I'll try to schedule it around you.
Yeah.
Do you want to see if he can come to planning, Linda?
Well,
Or
just so you're aware, chairperson of planning has decided, since the COVID is so bad right now, that we will be doing, let me read the note that he laid here on the table.
we'll be zooming.
Beginning December 10th and until further notice, all Manaway Village Planning Commission meetings will be held via Zoom.
Yeah. No, that's smart.
Yeah.
Does he know the safety, I'm sorry,
No, go ahead.
does he know the planning committee is the 8th of December? I've already had it put in the paper that it's going to be by Zoom, so just drag him along.
I think he was remembering the 10th because I think that's the day that BZA is holding their
Yes.
And we had talked about doing something with Dollar General for a special
We-
planning meeting that night too, if
We
they're
did.
ready. We'll know this week if they'll be ready.
Right.
Right, they're gonna contact us by the 4th to let us know if they want to do it either on that same Thursday night or the following Thursday night, the 16th. or
16th.
Wednesday,
was
the
either-
16th.
Yeah, it was either the 10th or the 16th.
Yeah, we gave them 2 options.
Right.
And then did my deadline to install the TV just evaporate?
I'm sorry,
Did my deadline to install the television just evaporate? No, I'll still be there tomorrow.
we used the TV today.
Yeah, I was gonna ask about that. You used it today? Cool.
Yes,
Very good.
that thing is,
Massive.
that thing is massive.
Super Bowl party.
Oh, you beat me to it. You beat me to it. We should have a Super Bowl party in there.
No, that
I
Michelle
tell ya.
told me that earlier.
And then there's one more quick on topic question. Is that building listed in the National Register of Historic Places?
No,
Okay, I didn't think so, just based on our conversation about landmarks and stuff like that, but, all right, so that eliminates that. Cool.
Okay. Paula, do you have anything on Dan?
No,
Okay. All right, moving on. Potato Festival contract.
okay, I'm sure everybody didn't have a chance to read it, but I wanted you to at least have it to read it for our January meeting, and we'll invite, that, it has to be done by March, correct, Michelle?
I don't remember.
I'm pretty sure that this one expires on March.
I'll
in
look.
March.
Hang on. You talk, I'll look.
So, because we're gonna need to make some changes to it.
Here we are.
Probably, definitely let them know that they're gonna have to pay their water bill and the surcharge if they want to use the property. Apparently, DMRC had reached out, or I shouldn't say that, Edie had reached out to Brian Perkins and said, hey, we don't like having the electric poles down there and the water hydrant thingies out. They wanted everything underground better. And to continue working with the park. So we probably need to invite whoever the chair is for the Potato Festival, because they're going to have to sign this agreement also. But I do we want to give them a time frame to raise the money to put their electric underground if they want to continue using it and that kind of stuff? I mean, can't just say, hey, get it done this year. I mean, I'm sure they don't have the money for that, but
No, they didn't need to have a festival.
right.
They're in the same boat a lot of other people are.
Right. I mean, it could be when we approach them about, it's time for the renewal. Maybe they're going to tell us no, that they don't. I have no idea.
Sure, fine.
But I'm going to assume, since someone had reached out to them, that, and they were on board with bearing the electric lines and that kind of stuff. I don't know what the whole conversation was with them, but I guess, should we invite them to the January meeting? Or do we want to have a draft ready first?
Let's say invite them.
Invite them?
Yeah, I think we need to know what the conversation was. It's our property.
Yeah, and I don't want to do
One
any
of
unnecessary work.
Yeah,
one of the things on, knowing that the electric poles are there and we would like to see them, the wires underground. I mean, it really looks kind of ugly right now. And what was Park's feeling on that? Scott?
as long as it didn't cost the village anything, if the Potato Festival is going to take care of it.
Okay.
Yeah.
And
I mean,
one of the,
that's parks, as long as it doesn't cost the village anything, because parks has no money.
yeah,
So,
yeah. I was wondering, this agreement just goes for the pump station, the old water, yeah, the pump station. What's in place for how those, how we work on the Katy Meadows with the Potato Festival? Was there ever an
Those
ordinance?
water lines and those poles were put there by the Potato Festival
Mhm.
that the village allowed them to do. They have the use of that section or the whole park, but that's the section that they were allowed to wire and put water lines in for their festival. So, but
Okay.
they're supposed to be totally responsible for that. The
Okay.
repairs of their water lines, everything.
And the reason I brought that up is, we're looking at this as a 10-year contract in front of us right now. But the agreement, it sounds, Mayor, like the agreement with the use of Katie's Meadows and the electric poles and the water and so on, that was just a one-time, it wasn't a duration contract that we have to be readdressing. Okay.
I'd
We
have
don't
to
know.
try to look at the contract from whenever they moved it down there. When was that? In the late 70s, 80s? I can't remember.
I think it was the late 70s. I think it was down there in the 80s.
But even at that point, it hadn't moved over to Katie's Meadows.
No, it had been.
The poles weren't up then.
Mhm.
I remember taking my kids down and they weren't born until the 80s, down to the park. So,
Honey,
I heard 84. Somebody I thought told
I
me
need your
84.
memory.
I want to, yeah.
John was part of that group, so
Well,
I know that I'm. Here he comes. From your memory, when they moved the festival down to Katie's Meadows, did you guys ran the water lines at that time, right? The JCs ran, cause they were one of the partners in there. Did you put the electric poles up or did those come later? John thinks the electric poles went up then too. I wasn't sure if you just had those run-on lights. Okay.
and when was that? May 7th, 1984.
Did you hear him?
No.
no.
He said May 7th, 1984.
Was it really?
He's being facetious.
I was gonna say, see, I told you 1984.
Okay.
He's gonna think about it. He thinks he can come.
Oh, it doesn't.
It doesn't, yeah. It's just a
Yeah.
matter of, they just have the right to use that field whenever they have the Potato Festival. I guess we don't have to worry about a contract or anything. They just request the use of the field is, I
Right.
guess, where I'm
Park,
going with
yeah,
that idea.
because they put their rides on the other side and all that stuff.
Yeah,
And they are supposed to be responsible for making sure that the grounds are maintained, like the years when, I shouldn't say this, when it rains and they park over on the north field and it's all rutted and stuff, they're supposed to come in, unfortunately for them, because it rains every freaking year.
yeah.
Making sure that that's maintained.
I think that needs to be in our contract too, Linda, that we get.
I'm pretty sure it's in there. So if
Well,
you,
I think we should,
I
I think we
sent
should
you-
hold a retainer.
yeah, I sent you emailed it to you. So like I say, read it over. And if you have any suggestions, then let me know and I'll work with Michelle and tweak them in there and then let you guys take a peek at it and see what it is without
Okay.
us violating any laws.
Oh, by the way, the last one did pass in March of 2011. Can you believe it?
What, that I was right about March?
It was passed in March, but it was an emergency, so it was not emergency, so it went into effect in April. I don't know when the signatures were on it. I'm just looking back at the legislation.
Okay.
So yeah, we have until March to pass this.
But definitely, they need to be responsible for the water and the,
Electricity and
let's see what they think about,
Yeah.
I mean, the water lines are already buried. They've used crappy pipe when they did it. It was just I think it was just those rolls of like 1-inch black pipe. That hard stuff.
Whatever works.
And all they
Yeah.
did was plastic fittings for everything. So, I mean, it was a cheap weekend festival. And back in the day, it was a way to make some big bucks for the JCs and the Lions and whoever else, all the parent organizations. I don't remember. I think there were 4 of them.
Right. Okay.
Crestwood Merchants, all of them were involved. So, okay, so read it over at your leisure and shoot me something.
Okay.
Don't shoot me, but shoot me something. Okay.
All right.
I got 3 more things before you go to old business.
Okay.
Remember several months ago, I told you that Eric Dunn had been making, scanning all the old documents that we have.
Yeah.
And I had asked, who gets these? Where do they go? Where do we want them to go? They need to be put on a server somewhere. And I didn't get an answer. And then I got busy with other things and got angry about other things and haven't done anything with it. And so he asked me today, where do you want to put this? So we need to be deciding, is it going to go on a server? He had done up to 1960 at that point. So I don't know how far he is now. Do we need I don't know. Do you need a dedicated computer that people can log into to get the information from it if they're searching for something? I don't know. Michelle?
Yeah.
More techie than me.
But I don't know, you want an archive on the website? We can put whatever we want up there.
I think this might be a good time for Matt.
Yeah, exactly.
Where's the website hosted?
Bulgaria. But literally, it's in Bulgaria.
Yeah, so we pay a yearly fee to have somebody host our website.
Yeah, the yearly cost comes down to it's less than $15 a year to host it, and it's $17.95 to renew the domain name.
All right, so what we've been doing is Eric's been scanning just old documents to get them digital, and now we need somewhere to put them, right? Is this everything? This is all old, everything, right?
I think he started in 1901 or something like that, and was up to 1960 on the. I can't remember now at this particular time. I can't remember which documents he was working on. Was it minutes or was it?
He just picked up council meetings from like 1900 today.
Okay.
So, but having it online would be great because you could get it anywhere you want it.
Yeah.
Anybody could get it.
We have unlimited storage space, so why not put it there?
Yeah. Oh, do we have unlimited storage space? Okay, that works out perfectly then. Because I was gonna say what you need to determine is how much data there is.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah. And if they're already hosting our stuff, they probably meet the certifications and qualifications to host that kind of stuff.
The what? Wait, what's that again? I'm sorry.
No, I'm saying if they're already hosting our website and we're putting like documents like that there, they're probably already, certified or qualified to be able to host that type of information.
We've got minutes up there and legislation from, I don't know, 20 years ago. What's the first thing that's up there? Ancient stuff. So, and those files aren't that big. He did that for Garrettsville, and I have that in a folder somewhere. And I was just trying to pull it up so I could see how big it is, but keep making my Zoom
And
meeting
then,
big.
and then the only other thing to that is organization of it and how it's to be searched.
I think you just do Control F. They come up in properties. Here it is. Okay, so the one he did for Garrettsville is 630 megabytes of historical documents. So that's not even a gig. And they're in PDFs and they're searchable. So he's made them all searchable as opposed to just image scans. So it's not that big.
Yeah. Okay. So we could just post it by year or something like that.
Yeah, I would think so.
Yeah. Or organize it by year and then, okay. Yeah. If it's free, unlimited or limited storage, absolutely.
Yep. And they've been, knock on wood, I hope nothing bad ever happens, but they've been really reliable. I've been with them for at least 10 years.
Okay.
Where,
Is
where
this,
do we back this in from?
I'm sorry, Paula, go ahead.
Just from a security standpoint, do we do any backups in Manaway, or is it all backed up in Bulgaria as well?
If something happens, I can get it back if I send a request, but I have most of the files on my computer here at home. If you want to call that a backup.
Well,
I'll tell you right now, make a backup of the backup
Right.
and then keep the backup somewhere else.
Yep.
Okay, so my next question is can I just tell Eric to give it to you, Michelle, and you'll put it on the website, or do I need council's approval to do this?
No, once I have it, it won't take long. If he wants to put a flash drive in my mailbox and let me know when it's there.
But do I need council's approval of where we're gonna put it?
I don't think so. We put everything else on the website.
Okay, I just don't wanna,
No, I know.
okay,
Not going to run you any extra expense to speak of.
okay,
$5 maybe.
okay, okay. Thank you for that. Okay, next thing is COVID. When an employee calls off sick and he's running a fever, he or she, this person is running a fever, has maybe cold symptoms and stuff. You can't just say, go get a COVID test. You can't go against HIPAA and ask questions that you would want to ask, you know. Do you have, you have this symptom? So Michelle and I were talking about it, and I think that we should, for the duration of the COVID, if someone calls off sick, if they're running a fever, of the symptoms that go with the COVID, we'd have to list those, that they need to go and either have a COVID test done or stay home and quarantine for 14 days. Instead of coming in, going home, coming in the next day, going home, and possibly infecting a lot of people. Without infringing on their,
that might be, would that be a good question to pose to the Portage County Health Department? And see what the county is doing on those issues, because they've got to be running into it as well.
What we're doing, Paula, is we have a sheet every morning that every employee fills out that you have these symptoms. It's Monday through Friday. They fill out, do you have a fever? Do you have a cough? Do you have, it's all the items you're allowed to ask because of HIPAA and COVID. And it's on one sheet that prosecutors office has given us. And that is what we have. And they have to answer those questions every day. And if they are asymptomatic, we send them home immediately. Or if their temperature, we take their temperature and we send them home. That's what we do in the county currently.
John, on the temperature issue, they're telling us 104 is the kind of in the, or at least early on, they were saying,
100
if you got that, you got to have a test. does the county have a temperature, specified temperature?
Yes, 100.4. That's a
100.4?
specified. And we have even, if you don't have a thermometer, you'd say you don't have a thermometer that day, but we do have a thermometer, just like the one that the mayor and the police department have. We have the same type in our offices.
Okay, so if we specify a temperature of 100.4 and really specify it, okay.
So that sounds like protocol to, you know, diagnose it in short term and then send them home. But what about for them to come back?
That's a health department and CDC call, not ours.
So
I'm just concerned because this employee came in, was with the other employees, was in the office, and hopefully it was just a cold or something like that. But we all know where Portage County is at right now. And we don't need it, any of us getting sick. I mean, I don't know. They have one of those ozone clean machines down at the service department. Did they clean all the vehicles, any place that the employee was at, that to protect themselves? Or did they just go about their day thinking, oh, you know, and if, you know, I don't know. I don't have an answer to that. I'm just concerned for them and this
and the
person
rest of the employees. Yeah.
Is there anything in the handbook that states you have to have like a doctor's note type thing after a certain amount of time is missed?
After more than 3 days.
If you miss 3 straight days, you have to be absent 3 days. On the 4th day, if you call off, then you have to have a doctor's excuse. But this was a case where they came in, left, was off a whole day, came in and left again and was off a whole day.
Well, I wonder if we couldn't get a hold of the county's protocol. I mean, do we want to go to the point that they've got to sign in and specify in a sheet of paper every day and answer the questions? And then what are their regulations for letting them come back if they're in quarantine? I mean, we're not the only ones doing this deal.
No.
And
Randy,
I think we need
Randy,
some
what did
guidance.
your work do?
Pardon?
I was
We
asking
had-
Randy what they do at his work.
We were kind of on the honor system. We have half of our project managers work at home every other week. We had one 2.5 weeks ago, call in, who was supposed to be coming in, said he didn't feel well. My boss said, stay at home, call me tomorrow. 2 days later, he was in the hospital with COVID. So I guess we're in a little different situation. I mean, our employer has given us 10 days to, you know, if you're sick, you get 10 sick days, you know, stay at home. So, I mean, they're a big enough company that they can pay the guys not to be there. So it makes it a little easier for somebody not to come into work if they know they're going to get paid. I mean, even if they're not feeling well, you know, I think it's kind of a different situation.
Mm-hmm.
But my personal feeling about this whole thing is that this is a different ball game, you know, and I think there's a whole new set of rules when it comes to this. And
yeah, I'm not trying
I
to
just-
penalize anybody. I'm just concerned for the sick person and the rest of us. If
exactly.
yeah.
I mean, because it can, yeah. I mean, somebody could walk into that service garage and infect the whole service garage within a day and you wouldn't know.
Right.
I mean, it would, and yeah,
Well, if it starts going around the service garage, it's coming up to our building too. Your whole
Exactly.
government would be shut down.
exactly.
But we're so small that we don't have a backup. We don't have backups for certain key people that come in. So I think that that's what makes people come in, because if they don't come in, you know, then something that has to get done that day isn't going to happen.
Well, I'd rather see something get pushed aside like it normally does when somebody's not here, and they stay home and take care of themselves and prevent all of us from possibly being infected.
Yeah,
And I don't
I
know,
agree.
again, I'm probably being the bitch and the bully and have another complaint filed against me if I tell somebody to go get a COVID test because they're sick.
No,
Mantua-
I think
Michelle,
Mantaline
Michelle?
tells
You have that
people
right.
to get COVID tests. You know,
Pardon me?
Mantaline tells people to get COVID tests. You know, so
Linda, I don't think there's anything unreasonable about that, about asking. I mean, if somebody is truly sick, then it's not
Right.
unreasonable to tell them that they need to be tested. This is no joke. This isn't the flu.
Right.
But one
I
of the things
mean-
with the COVID test is it takes them so long to process it. And
I
it could
know.
be, they could be out for 5 days before they get a result back. Yeah, and you know, it's sad. It's sad, but that's,
It is sad.
it is, yeah.
But it's even more sad if somebody's laying on a respirator, you know? I mean,
Yeah.
it's
Oh, I agree.
because we don't, you know, this is just rough, you know?
Right.
The whole thing is. This has been a crappy year.
Yes. Michelle, you have any suggestions on how something like this could be worded, or?
Well, I'll tell you, I know, so we just started talking about this, and I sent out a letter to the Municipal Attorneys Association mailing list. We kind of like all across the state, we trade, you know, legislation and ideas and stuff back and forth, and asked if anybody else across the state had passed anything like this yet, doing exactly this. And I haven't received any responses yet. I find it hard to believe that no other municipality across the state has done this yet. They must have. And so maybe it'll just take, you know, if I don't get anything tomorrow, I'll send out another reminder. But I'm also, you know, looking for it, searching for it, because a lot of places have their legislation online. It's just, it's new for everybody. So obviously it's not gonna be in somebody's codified ordinance update yet. But
Right.
we are allowed to request it, and people are, sorry.
Wow.
Okay, I think we're okay now. Yeah, anyway, so I am looking into it, and I'm trying to find a sample for us to use, and I would love to have something by finance to a week from tomorrow. Fingers crossed. Anyway, I'm looking. And
Okay.
yeah, if they are entitled to paid leave under the Coronavirus Relief Act, if they're waiting for a diagnosis. And you can get a rapid test that turns around in 48 hours for like $190. I had to have one. And is it worth that to get the employee back sooner than 5 days? Maybe. Yeah. At the village cost. So, you know, there's other things we can do. But yeah.
Like I
It's-
said,
it's-
I don't want somebody to be sick, but I don't want them to make me sick
We
too.
don't want everybody to be sick.
Yeah,
I like the idea of what John's doing, or they're doing up there in the county with the checklist every morning. At least it
I
raises
do too.
awareness. It raises awareness and it gives you a record.
Yep.
Well, then here is what I question, because I don't go down to the service garage. John's not there. They're supposed to be systematically cleaning all of their vehicles with that ozone cleaner every day. I mean, this one this day, you know, rotating it so that it gets done. They also have their own thermometer down there that they're supposed to be taking their temperatures every morning. Are they? I don't know.
We'll add it to the checklist.
Well, Matt, I think you have a great point. I mean, then there's a paper trail. You know, I mean, there's Monday
and-
through Thursday, this person was feeling fine and this is their temperature, you know? I mean, at least that way there's a log of,
And so much of this, you aren't there all the time. You are not physically, but you're telling them this is what you are responsible to do each morning. And it's an honor system.
it
You
is.
know, it's watching out for each other, and they need to be monitoring each other too. You know, that's how kids learn, is when they go to school. It's
Yep.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's honor system, good Samaritan kind of stuff. I could see, if you have symptoms, how you wouldn't want to report it because you don't want to lose your paycheck for 10 days or 14 days or whatever it is. But if there's relief, through the funds in that for people that are for waiting for their test to come back, that's a good incentive to not hide it.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And as for the checklist, let's say it's got to be turned in once a week to Mariana or whatever.
Hey, John, can you email us a checklist? John's screen is frozen.
He's got that township internet.
John? Oh, John. Huh. Oh, he's gone.
He's gone now. Well, I like that idea. We might as well try it. This is going to be around for a while.
One
I
of
think
the,
it's pretty reasonable ask is just to check up a checklist of
is.
a few things,
And
one
if
of the,
nothing else, they'll know that we're looking out for them.
I have a couple questions. One of them is, so we no meetings will be in person anymore, correct?
Correct.
Okay, because if they were, then we should all be doing that for those meetings.
Right.
And then the other thing that Mantua does, and I don't know if this is feasible because I don't know how many people we all see each other, but Mantua makes their employees every day fill out at the end of the day a piece of paper on people they were within 6 feet contact with. Because then if somebody, well, then they've had people positive, they can go back, I don't know if it's 10 or 14 days and notify those people.
Sure.
So I don't know if that's worth it with such a small, I think we'd say, oh my gosh, guess what? So-and-so, and then we'd all be, oh, I saw them, it might not be worth the time.
Yeah, I
Well,
think. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
it might be because they're also out working on the streets and doing, well, they're almost done doing meter reads, but
They are done doing that.
yeah, okay. So that's out of it, but
Yeah, but
But
if they
you
went
know,
into the coffee shop or,
Right, they go in and get coffee at McDonald's, they get it at Circle K, so I mean, they're going in there.
But it may be hard because if you're going into Napa, you don't know who you're standing next to. You don't know. I mean, so that might be too much. I think that's too much.
I was gonna say it's a lot of overhead.
Yeah, it's too
yeah.
much.
yeah,
Yeah,
you're right.
Probably too
You're
much
right, Mary.
stress.
Mhm.
Baby steps.
Yep.
So John, can you email us a list of what you guys do? Your list that
Yeah,
they fill out?
It's one sheet. I can send you to. I'll get it tomorrow and bring it home and download it.
Okay. Perfect. All right.
And there must be some guidelines that have been issued from the county perspective, issued to the department heads to funnel it down. So if there are any guidelines besides just this one sheet of paper, that would be helpful too, I think.
Yeah, we follow the EMA standards, all from Ryan Shackelford and all from the EMA. All of our guidelines are followed the CDC and the health department. It's all in conjunction together. A big document on it.
Well, we're not gonna,
No, I know, but that's,
have they toned it down a little bit?
no, they haven't. It's a big document.
So you had to read the whole document? No.
Yes, I had to read the whole documents and keep on memorizing lots of parts of it.
Whoa.
We have like a bullseye. there's a bullseye and it tells you if you come into direct contact, if you're on the outer one, and then you have to take that in practice. And we still have questions each day. Sometimes when somebody's wife's a nurse and they get COVID,
Yeah.
that kind of occurs.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, Linda, you said you had 3 things. You have,
Yes, yes. Okay, John and I have been talking about this, John True and I. Matt and I talked about it briefly also. With the water and sewer going away, a comment was made as we no longer need a village administrator. Well, we don't need a village administrator to oversee the water and sewer, but we still need a village administrator to handle streets, ditches, cemetery, parks, enough stuff that we have. I think we need to rewrite our job description for a village administrator on what it would be. I think that between Matt and I and Michelle, we could probably come up with a draft for service to look at in January to see what they might, we can share the draft with you when we get it done for any changes, but so that when we're moving forward, exactly what that would be.
Is there anything in the ORC? When I first came on, I was reading that as some that married the village administrator title or classification to the fact that you have utilities within the village. And is there another title or something that it would fall under from an ORC perspective?
Well, I had asked that question of Michelle, thinking because the remark was made, you don't need a village administrator if you don't have the water and sewer plants. And I presented that to Michelle and she did some research and I'll let her
Right.
tell you.
Okay, so I can find it, but the village administrator, in addition to overseeing utilities, also has duties involving streets and public grounds. And that's under the revised code section that governs the village administrator's powers and duties. So you can still have one with less duties under the same title if you have less things for them to do.
Okay, very good.
What's the ORC?
Ohio
Ohio
Revised Code.
Code.
Okay, cool.
See, acronyms.
Yeah, Title 7 governs everything about municipalities if you're ever really looking to dig deep into this exciting stuff. Or you can just email me like everybody else does.
I did go out and read some of it.
Yeah, oh yeah, and it's scintillating.
Oh yeah, oh man, God. Are you a city? Are you a village? Are you, it's like, oh, wait a minute.
Yeah, there's a lot.
When you start reading that stuff though, Paula, don't you feel like your head's gonna spin sometimes?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I haven't been back to it for a while.
Yeah. So are you guys on board with us coming up with some type of a draft thing to look at?
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I will help with that if you'd like.
Oh, yeah.
oh, I think she threw your name out there.
I threw your name out there.
Yeah, you're done, bud. You're there.
Do you feel that fish hook? Do you feel that fish hook?
She's reeling you in.
So that's 2 things I'm gonna have with you. A meeting with Dan Tillett. We'll see how we all feel. Maybe we might have to have Michelle Zoom us for that one, and then working on the new job description for village administrator.
Sounds good.
Did you have one more, Mayor?
That was my 3.
Okay. All right. Old business. Round 35, water line replacement for Glenwood. CT's working on that. The Ohio Edison pole banner agreement. Did you hear anything, Matt?
No, I've been blown up. Mayor Clark, you were going to have some, or try to have some correspondence with Lisa?
I was going to, but I wanted to wait till after Christmas so she didn't
Yeah.
come out and make us take down our wreaths.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking too.
I did speak with one of my school friends, and I know that her son works there at Ohio Edison. And so when I was telling about the debacle of putting things, she says, "Oh, my son's in charge of that." I said, "Oh, don't say anything to him." So,
Wait until New Year's.
yeah. She said, "How long have you had stuff on poles?" I said, 50 years or more.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I gotta tell you, I don't like getting blown off when we need something though. So if she, it sounds like she contacts you regularly. If she needs
Yes.
something from you, you hold it hostage until she answers my email or
Right.
calls you back.
Right. You know, like when we had that power outage a couple weeks ago on that Sunday, and some people were out for so many days. She always sends me emails on, you know, the updates, what they're doing, bringing extra crews in and all that stuff. So I will ask her to add you to the list.
Yeah.
Just to answer his email. That's all. Okay. West Prospect, we've already discussed. So
Yeah.
yeah, so we're done, I guess. The asset management, we're just,
That's going to go away anyhow.
Yeah. right.
Everything
And I've
goes
been talking to the county, and I've talked to EPA already today on a lot of transfer agreements and stuff we got to have to sign, so we're getting all that in line. I was on the phone with Beth Mattis yet tonight, 6:30. So, not, excuse me, 6:30, 5:30, losing track of time here. So we'll continue and keep up
Okay.
with the communication with EPA and keep us out of harm's way and violations.
Is there a deadline, Linda, that you have to have all this signed by for the county?
We just have to we're still working on getting the surcharge nailed down, and that's depending on them visiting all the businesses and how many employees and how big they're, whatever it is,
Right.
again, that they have to do there. The crunch time is going to be for us to have something for our council meeting so that they can have it to the commissioners on the 17th. Is that?
Yeah, I think it's the 17th. So it's got to all be nailed down that week,
Yeah.
2 weeks from now.
That's why John's been working late nights with Tia,
Oh,
trying to get all that stuff done on weekends.
gotcha.
So,
Okay.
but we do have things to go over. Like I said, at our last meeting, I gave them a list of what Dave had given me about the different places where we have no meters now that they're going to be metering us on, and exactly how that's going to work. So.
Okay. All right.
Crazy.
Yeah, you've been busy. Anything else? Anybody? Paula? No?
Nope.
Matt?
No, nothing yet. I'm thinking about stuff, but none of it's baked yet all the way.
Okay.
Oh.
John, anything?
Nothing for me at this time.
Okay. Motion to adjourn?
Oh, wait, real
Oh.
quick, just to my response to the email that was sent out about the extension of the COVID till June 30th of this year. And I received a private email asking me what problems I have. I have sat down and spent almost all day yesterday drafting the issues that I have seen or feel that have been happening, and it will be sent to everyone tomorrow. I just didn't want to send it today before the meeting, so people had time to cool off before the next meeting.
Okay.
So
I do have one more comment real quick.
Okay.
I heard from a resident today that they were impressed with the service department in the snow removal. They were out there in the middle of the night and the roads were clear in the morning and the sidewalks and all that stuff. So comments for the residents at the service department.
sidewalks.
Or maybe not the sidewalks, but Yeah.
No.
Yeah,
We
they
did like
were
a-
on it.
Yeah, the roads were clear. The roads were clear, so I heard.
Yeah. Yeah, they came by about 2:30, 3 o'clock here, so,
Yeah, I heard them go past my house at like 2:30 or something like that too. So.
yeah, so they were out.
Yeah.
Good, good. No,
Yeah.
that's always nice to hear.
Yeah. That's
Yep,
what you want
they were out at 3 o'clock this morning. I saw them. I was
Yeah.
up. Should have been sleeping, but I was up. Paula, are you feeling all right? It looks like you're
I got
reclining
kicked
on your
out.
bed.
I got kicked out of the study because we have electrical outages in Geauga County. And so we have new house guests that moved in who are part of our pod, but
Mhm.
it's still a dangerous inclusion because they're still going to school. But they are here because their house was getting cold.
Yeah.
So I'm in the, yeah, it's
I was
quieter.
concerned that maybe your back was acting up again.
Oh, no, thank you. No.
It's a beautiful headboard.
Yeah.
Isn't it? It's gorgeous. And there's a matching dresser.
Ooh, cool.
Okay.
All right, I guess that's it.
Okay, I'll be
Motion
talking.
to adjourn,
So
So moved.
moved. Second,
all eyes.
aye,
Aye.
Aye. All right, everyone.
take care.
Stay safe.
Thank you. Anybody needs anything, let me know.
Okay. Hey, Michelle,
Yes.
See y'all.
probably tomorrow before my next Zoom meeting, you'll have to show me what is missing on my new computer that it won't let me put my picture there.
Okay.
It just had like a Christmas card thing on it for some reason.
Oh, how cute. Yeah, just give me a call and I'll do a quick personal Zoom meeting with you, see if we can get it set up.